Reimagining Success, episode 51. You're listening to Reimagining Success, the podcast where we help you reimagine your future, designing a life and career beyond the 9 to 5 that allows you the freedom, flexibility and fulfillment that you've been dreaming of. I'm your host, Anna Lundberg. Now, let's get started on those dreams. Hello there, and welcome back to the podcast. We are into the 50s now with episode 51, as you heard. So really excited to have celebrated 50 episodes last week. Now, we started last week talking about reimagining success in 2020. So not just a new year, but a new decade. Very exciting. So yes, it's a bit of an arbitrary time of year that we as humans have decided that this is sort of a cutoff point for our year, for our calendar. But I think it's a fantastic opportunity. There's something about sort of the end of year, after the Christmas period. It's cold, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. And, the sort of cold, dreary January that makes us really redouble our efforts and feel inspired really to change how things are going to go in the coming year. Now, of course, I tend to focus on, and I have focused on so far in the podcast, to be honest, the transition of leaving the corporate 9 to 5, as I call it, and setting up your business. And this is really the core of my message. And I think it's something, of course, that I've had in my own experience. However, it's also something that I see again and again. Unfortunately, the pattern repeats itself, that many of us have had that kind of experience of being on the so-called conveyor belt, going to school, university, college, whatever you call it, job, and so on. We wake up, and that awakening might happen for some lucky individuals in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I have clients in the full range, to be honest, and I know there's some people in our Facebook group who are starting a business in their retirement, which is fantastic too. But what happens is we wake up, we think, hang on a second, we've worked so hard for this. It's not what I thought it would be. It's not as meaningful as I was led to believe. I'm perhaps nearing burnout. I am not getting to spend as much time as I want with my children. I would really love to leave a legacy, create something more valuable, meaningful, to enjoy my work more, to travel, to move to the countryside, whatever it might be. So that is the core of what I'm looking at. And today I do want to talk a little bit about that escaping the 9 to 5, but in a broader context when we're talking reimagining success. So not just the career change, but as we will nicely transition into for the rest of the year as well, the different areas of our life which are really important in that kind of big change, because it seems that a lot of these things sort of come in one go. So, I can work with people who happen to be going through a divorce while they're also perhaps being made redundant, or choosing to leave their job or something like that, or, some kind of relationship breakup. There might be some health issue. There might be a family personal tragedy. So unfortunately, these things do tend to come together, but there's something quite empowering and refreshing, if that's the right word. There's definitely an opportunity to make something positive out of this very tumultuous situation once you're ready for that. But I wanted to tell you a little bit of a story. So, a few years ago, after I set up my own business, I actually had a former colleague get in touch, and he was trying to set up his own business, sort of a coaching kind of idea. He had loved theatre in the past, and he'd been presenting stuff and loved performing. He had some great ideas for his business. But he was contemplating, should he return to another full-time role? And I think there was a particular role on the table. It came to him, and he was sort of tempted by it and so on. And he said something that has stuck with me since then. He said something like, "You're the only one I know who has quit your job, quit Procter & Gamble, which is where we're both working, and who hasn't gone back to another full-time job. So you're the only one who's quit and is stuck with it, essentially." And when I thought about it, it was really true, and I see it still now. I do know a lot of people who quit their job, had this business idea, had this, big plan for what they do, whether it was a non-governmental organisation or sort of a charity, not-for-profit, something that they were working on, or the next big product, a tech company, or sort of consulting, whatever it might be. And unfortunately, who gave up on that attempt to leave the 9 to 5 and decided to return to a more conventional job. So it may have been that they found it harder than they expected. The business didn't take off as quickly as they'd hoped. They just didn't see the results. And in many cases, they also missed the camaraderie. We'd have this massive, big team around ourselves, big organization, big budget, big support of a big brand, and so on. Now, I want to make it perfectly clear that choosing intentionally to take a 9-to-5 job, a so-called 9-to-5 job, to return, it might feel like you're taking a step back, but to go to a full-time job, having decided that working for yourself is not for you, you didn't enjoy it, you've given it your absolute best shot, you've done everything, you've got the support you needed, you've experimented, you've explored, you've really looked at it, you've worked hard, and you've really made an intellectual or I suppose emotional choice that this is not the right thing for you. And on the other hand, the 9-to-5 job is an incredible opportunity. It excites you. It promises everything you've ever wanted. There's a total step change to what you're doing before, different organization, different seniority, super exciting. Then that is amazing. That's not what we're talking about here. That's incredible. Good luck to you. And if that's the right choice for you right now because of your family circumstances, you're postponing the escape till later, right now, this is something that excites you. This is where your gut is telling you to go. That's fantastic. Go for it. And that's in no way a failure, right? That is an incredible way of reimagining success, rethinking. You do not have to be married to the idea of working for yourself, running your own business, escaping the 9-to-5 if you find actually, you know what? This is going to really work for me. There is no shame in that. It's not something to apologize for. And once again, just as you don't want to care about people judging you when you leave the 9-to-5, please don't care about the people who judge you, if there are people who do so, when you return to a 9-to-5. This is up to you. This is your definition of success. And it's completely, only you know the reasons why you wanted to escape in the first place and the reasons why you're returning. However, taking a role just because it happens to be available, someone sort of offered it to you, you feel a bit tempted, it's a great salary and I feel a bit flattered and it's very difficult to say no to that kind of thing. Or, you've been half-heartedly applying to something because just to fill the time, you didn't really know what to do. Or you've been in a sort of panic, been applying to jobs because, oh my goodness, the money isn't coming in, I probably need to have that as a backup plan and so on. Because you're afraid of failing in your business and because you haven't given yourself a real chance. That, to me, is heartbreaking. So we're talking here about creating a sustainable escape plan. Escaping is not just, I quit, ta-da, that's it. It is not creating a website, buying a domain name, setting up your business, for, I think it was £12 with Companies House here in the UK. It's not printing fancy business cards. It's not changing your LinkedIn. That's not a sustainable escape plan. That is a massive decision. It's a massive step in the right direction, but it is only the very first step. You've escaped, or taken the first step at least, to escape the confines of the corporate 9-to-5. But unless you make that an absolutely viable long-term proposition in terms of the business, unless you make it work for your personal circumstances, unless you enjoy it, it's financially what you need and all these other things, then it's not going to last. You're going to be one of those heartbreaking cases of people who sort of go crawling back to a full-time job. And to be honest, it'll be fine. Let's be honest. You'll get a lovely salary again. You'll be back in your comfort zone. You'll have nice work parties and there'll be lots of perks and you will have a great time. So, it's not all bad. But I have a sneaky suspicion you want more than that. And if you do, then we want to really give you a fighting chance and your business. You want to invest in it. You want to take it seriously. You want to give it a real go before you then, again, perhaps make an intentional choice to go in a different direction. So, as reluctant as I am always to give very sort of black and white, clear-cut formulas, I do want to talk about 5 pillars, which, based on my own experience, based on coaching clients over the last few years, interviewing people for my book, and a combination of what I do in terms of life coaching and more tangible business strategy and mentorship, I've identified these 5 pillars, which actually I'm loving at the moment, so I hope you agree, but they're really coherently bringing together, synthesizing a lot of different strands of what I've been working on in the business. And I love how it brings together, again, the bigger vision, life coaching questions, addressing fears and so on the one hand, with the business mentoring, branding and so on that I've been doing over the years too. So without further ado, the 5 pillars are the following. So number 1, surprise, surprise, number 1 is reimagining success. So this is all around choosing to step off that conveyor belt, begin to question those definitions of success that you may have inherited from school, teachers, parents, society, TV, whatever it is. Let go of others' expectations. Let go of those other people judging you, what other people think, and so on. And importantly, as I said at the beginning, considering those other areas of your life, and we'll talk about those in the coming weeks. Reimagining success is the absolute first foundational pillar for a sustainable escape plan. You have to have that vision ahead of you. Now, number 2, and this is also at the core of my concept, my brand is called One Step Outside, and it's all about a step outside your comfort zone. So the second pillar is getting out of your comfort zone. This is all around addressing those limiting beliefs you have, coming to terms with your fears, breaking them apart, looking at how you can build your confidence, challenging yourself, learning new skills, swallowing your ego, and, to be honest, accepting the little failures along the way as well. So getting out of your comfort zone is the second pillar. Now we get into more tangible, concrete business pieces, because we're talking creating strong business foundations as a third pillar. So strong business foundations is a third pillar. This means choosing the right business model that is going to give you that freedom, flexibility, fulfillment that you're after. Understanding your ideal client, knowing the problem you solve, packaging, pricing, all those things, right? So really the foundational business strategy you have to have in place in order for this business, if it is going to become a success, when it becomes a success, to give you what you want and need. So that's what's going to make it sustainable from a business standpoint. Number 4 is building a personal brand and platform. Now, this is all around establishing your credibility and authority, growing your audience, creating content, attracting clients. And this, to be honest, is something that's going to be critical, whether you are going to be running this business or another business in the future, whether you go back to another full-time job, having that personal brand. You know, your business will change, evolve. You might even change your business completely. You may take a different job, different company, but you are the constant. So your personal brand is going to stand you in good stead, whatever you choose to do in terms of your career and business. So building that brand and platform, and not just, having some little tactical ways to get clients, but really sustainable means of attracting the right people to you and having that credibility and authority. And number 5 is creating functioning work-life integration. So again, it has to work with, of course, your vision of success, but with the principles, the parameters, the criteria for you personally. You have to establish boundaries between your personal life and the business, your work. You have to have tools, systems in place to automate your work, to free up your time, perhaps a team, outsourcing, and so on. This has to work as an integrated piece for all areas of your life, and it's not just work. So it has to work from a perspective of your health, your family, your partner, your children, and so on. So again, I know I went through those quickly. If it's the first time you've heard them, which it is because it's the first time I talk about them, I want to go through them one more time. So number 1, reimagining success. Number 2, getting out of your comfort zone. Number 3, creating strong business foundations. 4, building a personal brand and platform. And 5, creating functioning work-life integration. Now, if you'd like to learn more about these 5 pillars, and if you'd like to fill in the gaps, maybe you have some of the elements, but some, when I talk through these, you thought, hang on a second, that's really missing for me, or that's what I don't have, that's what's making me maybe consider going back to a full-time job and so on now, or that's what's making me not get the income I need for the business, or I'm burning out because of this, that, and the other. So if you want to learn more about these, then join us, because we are going to be running another escape plan workshop. Now, this is a 5-day, 5-session, 5 hourly sessions over in the Facebook group, the One Step Outside Facebook group, 5 live sessions. We'll be going through these 5 pillars, digging into as much as we can in a week. So yes, it will be intense. It's fun, but it is, really intended to get you from thinking into action, taking action, making a massive leap forwards, and building your confidence, giving you lots to work on. So again, I'd love to invite you to this round of the 9 to 5 escape plan. We're starting on Sunday the 17th, so get your act together. Do join us over in the One Step Outside Facebook group, and we'll get started Sunday 17th. We'll go Monday 18th, Tuesday 19th, Wednesday 20th, and Thursday 21st. There will then be other live sessions afterwards with bonus content, and we're going live at 8 o'clock UK time in the Facebook group. Now, if you're not on Facebook, then let me know. You can contact me at podcast@onestepoutside.com, podcast@onestepoutside.com, because I am going to do an extra, very intense deep dive session for those of you who aren't on Facebook. So more on that to come, but do let me know. Again, you can email me at podcast@onestepoutside.com. Let me know you're interested, but you're not able to attend on Facebook. So again, inviting you to the next 9 to 5 escape plan workshop happening just in a few days' time. So do join us in the One Step Outside Facebook group. I'll be going through these 5 pillars and again, looking ahead to help you create a sustainable escape plan. This is not a one-time funny thing that you do. It's not sort of a blip in your life. It's not a crazy whim that then actually, next year you'll go back to the normal life, to what everyone expected. No, this is it. We're in it for the long haul. We're going to make this work. We're going to invest time, energy, money in this new way of looking at success in your sustainable escape plan. So join us in the 9 to 5 escape plan, and I look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So see you on Sunday. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Reimagining Success with Anna Lundberg. If you're looking for support and encouragement as you begin to reimagine success in your life, then come on over and join us in the One Step Outside Facebook group. You'll find like-minded people who will cheer you on, as well as free training sessions and lots more. To join, visit onestepoutside.com/community or just search for One Step Outside on Facebook. I'll see you over there.